What's up, YouTube? This is your boy Nick here, and today I reveal the results from last night's WWE RoadBlock Raw's exclusive pay-per-view, the last pay-per-view of 2016, presented by TAPOUT Athletic Wear, available on now at JCPenney and at tapout.com, and also presented by Toys R Us, where you will find WWE toys in the store, full of awesome. And before we get started, we would like to send a special thanks to Thousand Foot Krutch for the official WWE RoadBlock theme song. It is called A Different Kind of Dynamite, and it's off the album Exhale, available now on iTunes and Spotify. Alright guys, we're going to kick things off with the kickoff show as Big Cass went one-on-one with Rusev. Now the closing moments of the match was Rusev and Big Cass were literally beating the hell out of each other. Inside the ring, outside the ring, and throughout the surroundings of the WWE universe. So, as Enzo Amore was looking on, Lana decided to push Enzo, and Enzo got distracted. That led to Rusev attacking Enzo with a clubbing blow to the back of the neck. Which led to Rusev quickly getting into the ring, and that led to a countout. So therefore, the winner by countout was Rusev. Of course, Rusev and Lana just decided to bail. Just run away. Alright guys, now we move on to the tag team titles as the New Day, the longest reigning Raw Tag Team Champions in history, defended the titles against Sheamus and Cesaro. Now the match started out strong for Sheamus and Cesaro as Cesaro was about to go for a quick pin cover, but that did not last long. Of course, because Kofi Kingston kicked out. So the match was back and forth. You know, both tag teams had brought their A game. So the closing moments of the match was as Cesaro was about to make the tag. He made a feint tag. There was a feint tag. The ref thought that he tagged that he got tagged, but he never did. So he attacked. So he was about to attack Kofi Kingston, but that led to a Trouble in Paradise, and Kofi Kingston was about to go for the pin, but that was not the case. Cesaro decided to go for a pinning predicament, if you will, and he got the pinfall victory. And after 483 days, that's impressive. The New Day finally lost the Raw Tag titles. And judging by the look on their faces, honestly couldn't blame them. I mean, if I was tag team champion, I held them for that long, and I lost them, I would be disappointed as well. But I mean, kudos to the New Day on being the only tag team or faction, if you will, in history to ever surpass Demolition's record as tag team champions with 483 days. That it's amazing of how great the New Day was as tag team champions. So congrats! So a huge congrats to the New Day on surpassing Demolition as the longest reigning tag team champions in history. But a huge congrats to Sheamus and Cesaro for becoming new Raw Tag Team Champions. Alright guys, now we move on to a odd match as Sami Zayn went one-on-one with Braun Strowman. Now Strowman said that nobody, not even Sami Zayn, could last 2 minutes in the ring with Braun Strowman. But Mick Foley decided to give Sami Zayn 10 minutes. So the closing moments of the match, Mick Foley comes out with a white towel, and of course when someone has a towel and throw it into the ring, it usually means that they want the match to be over. Of course, that was not the case. Sami Zayn took the towel from Mick Foley and threw it into the fans, and told Mick Foley, that's not how it's gonna go down. So the match continues, and with only 7 seconds left on the clock, Sami Zayn hits a haluva kick to Braun Strowman and survives 10 minutes. So therefore, your winner just by surviving barely was Sami Zayn. Of course, Braun Strowman was a little upset about it, and judging by his face, I say Braun Strowman's going to get some payback tonight on Raw. Alright guys, now we move on to another one-on-one match as Seth Rollins goes one-on-one with Chris Jericho. Now, the match was literally back and forth. Jericho was all Jericho did was just showboat. That's all he did. So the closing moments of the match, Seth Rollins hits Jericho with the pedigree, and he gets the pinfall victory. Of course, at the end of the match, he said, 1 down, 2 to go. A lot of people didn't know what that meant, but I already knew what he meant. He meant Jericho, check. That leaves 2 remaining: Kevin Owens and Triple H. His next victim will be Kevin Owens, and it'll end with Triple H. Alright guys, now we move on to the Cruiserweight division as the outlandish Rich Swann defended the Cruiserweight Championship in a triple threat match against TJ Perkins and the Brian Kendrick. Now this match was phenomenal. No pun intended. But the match was amazing. You know, seeing three of the greatest cruiserweights in the division going at it for the Cruiserweight title. So the match ends. So the closing moments of the match, Brian Kendrick was out of the ring, and Perkins and Swann were exchanging right hands or grenades, as I call them. Kendrick comes back into the ring. Swann and Perkins give him a super kick. That led to Rich Swann giving TJ Perkins that signature kick that Swann uses, and he gained the pinfall victory to retain the Cruiserweight title. Of course, after the match, Neville's music hits. He comes into the ring and attacks both Rich Swann and TJ Perkins. Of course, and what's strange about this is that Neville we have never seen this side of Neville before. Not once. And last night we witnessed it. So he was basically what happened last night was Neville was putting the Cruiserweight division on notice. And if you guys noticed before the match, you guys noticed that Byron Saxton wasn't on commentary for that match. You're right, he wasn't. It was actually the greatest man that ever lived, Austin Aries. He was on commentary for that one match. Alright guys, now we move on to the women's division as Sasha Banks defended the Raw Women's Championship for the final time against Charlotte, but this time in a 30-minute Iron Man match, or should I say Iron Woman match. The closing moments of the normal Iron Man match, Sasha Banks had 2 falls, Charlotte had 1 fall. The match ended with Sasha Banks tapping out to the figure 8 after only just in mere seconds away from the clock dropping down to 0. Sasha Banks tapped out. Had she not have tapped out, she would have retained the women's championship, but that's not the case. So the referee decided, you know what, we're gonna go into overtime. So during overtime, there were 2 pinfalls, 2 near falls, I should say, by by Sasha Banks, and the match ended with Charlotte applying the figure eight on Sasha Banks, and the pressure was just too intense. So Sasha Banks had no choice but to tap out. Honestly, kudos to Sasha Banks for wanting the match, but honestly, I don't think Sasha Banks has anything to be ashamed of, considering the fact that she put everything on the line. And for Charlotte, congrats to Charlotte on being a 4-time women's champion. But as Bayley mentioned on the RoadBlock kickoff show, she said it doesn't matter who wins she's going after the winner. So huge congrats to both of those women, to both those beautiful ladies for making history. Alright guys, it was now time for a main event as Kevin Owens defended the WWE Universal title against Roman Reigns. Now of course we all knew that Jericho and Owens had a bit of a run-in with their friendship, if you will. So the match was back and forth. You know, there was a lot of action inside the ring, outside the ring. Kevin Owens had hit Roman Reigns with not one, not two, but three frog splashes, and that still wasn't enough. So the closing moments of the match was Kevin Owens comes into the ring. Roman Reigns hits a spear on Kevin Owens, as Kevin Owens still had his title clenched in his hands. Jericho comes in, and he attacks Owens with a code breaker, causing Roman Reigns to lose the match by disqualification. Of course, so therefore your winner by DQ and still champion Kevin Owens. Of course, after the match, Seth Rollins comes in and attacks and helps Roman Reigns attack both Owens and Jericho by putting Chris Jericho on the Spanish announce table and putting Kevin Owens on the other announce table that wasn't broken. And to close the show, they held up their fists, of course, posing the shield to close the show. Alright guys, well that is it for the RoadBlock results. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please post down comments below on what your favorite match was. And be sure to like this video and share it with your friends and family, and subscribe or bell me, if you will, for more WWE and Yu-Gi-Oh videos. And also be sure to follow me on Twitter for everything WWE and everything Yu-Gi-Oh! At WWE_Minister and at Yu-Gi-Oh! Player 96. I'll have links in the description below so you guys can check me out. And on that, this is your boy Nick here, signing off, and happy holidays, everybody.